Hello guys and welcome to Sophisticated Obsession. On today's show we look at when and where you should be wearing fragrance. Coming up. Hello YouTube, what's happening? It is Matt here from Sophisticated Obsession and welcome back. So today we are going to be doing something slightly different. We are not going to just be doing a fragrance review, but we're actually going to be telling you a few tips and tricks on how to pick your fragrance. So we had a couple of people that were asking us, how is it that you pick a fragrance that is right for you? How do you pick a fragrance that is right for the day? We look at fragrances that are going to complement our look, our feel, where we're going, things like that. And we try and then match up the fragrance to then the day that you are going to have. First of all, just our little disclaimer. These are just tips and tricks. They are not rules. These are just things to get you started, get your foot in the door, and then you can start experimenting. At the end of the day, it is your fragrance journey. You are the ones that really need to control it. These are fragrances for men. Sorry ladies, you might find a couple of unisex scents in here, but they are just for you gents. Sorry. Okay, let's get into it. So when we look at fragrancing, we need to look at 4 factors. Season, time of day, setting, and formality. Now the season, we don't just look at, is it summer, is it winter, is it autumn, is it spring, but more, what is the day actually like? Is it hot? Is it humid? Is it cold? Is it frosty? Is it bright with then still that sort of morning dew and that frost going across? What is the day like? Also, you then need to think about, maybe if you're going on holiday, what would the temperature be like if you were going out into the Bahamas or something? And then, on the flip side, are you going to the Arctic? Because everybody winters in the Arctic, right? Number 2, time of day. What time of day are you going to be wearing your fragrance? Is it going to be early morning when maybe you want to then sort of freshen up and feel a little bit more invigorated? Or is it late at night when maybe you want to wear something a little bit more darker, a little bit more sensual, a little bit more sexy? Number 3, setting. Setting is so important and probably one of the most important factors here, because where are you actually going to be wearing your fragrance? Where are you going to be spending most of your day? Is it going to be cooped up in a real cramped office, or is it going to be outdoors where you are roaming free? And finally, number 4, formality. Is your fragrance needing to be casual, or is it needing to be formal? Are you going to be wearing your sweatpants and a casual t-shirt, or are you going to be wearing full out tuxedo, James Bond style? Also consider the people that you are going to be around. Are the people that you're going to be around, are they going to be comfortable with a lot of scent, with maybe heavy scents, or do they want something a little bit more delicate, or nothing at all? Who knows? Okay, so now that we have gone through a couple of those little tips that I think that you need to think about, let's get into the suggestions. Let's assume that you have not got any fragrances in your fragrance collection, and so you might want to then start out with a couple of designer brands before then branching out into the real niche world. I have thought of 2. Chanel Allure Homme Sport Au Extreme and La Nuit de l'Homme by Yves Saint Laurent. Allure Homme Sport is very, very good because it is so versatile. You could dress this up, but you could also dress this down. It is very, very good, and it has got more of like a lemony, sort of zesty feel, but it is very, very designer. It is really, really lovable, and basically you're gonna get a lot of compliments. This one, La Nuit de l'Homme, is a little bit darker, a little bit more sexier, but it has brilliant versatility as well. I would probably say that this one, if you wanted to wear it in the day, is probably going to be your baby, whereas this one, probably in the evening, will be the one. Okay, let's now get down to the big boy stuff. It's the niche houses. Let's look at at season. Winter is interesting because you want to have something that is going to cut through the cold. I have thought of this one, and I've got to say this fragrance, I've got a bit more of a love-hate relationship. I hated it, but that's because I was trying it on in the summer and my mindset just wasn't on it. This is Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille boasts of having a really strong vanilla scent. It is almost like thick honey. It will make you feel really comforted and invigorated in those cold winter nights. Also, the tobacco it is very nice, very widely loved, and probably this is one of Tom Ford's most famous private blend collection items. Spring, autumn. If you're looking for something a little bit warmer, and if you are looking for something that is just going to elevate your senses ever so slightly and just go onto the fresher side, I cannot think of anything better than Le Labo's Bergamot 22. Bergamot 22 boasts of having a real rich bergamot lemony smell, but it's as if the whole lemon tree has gone into this blend because you have got such woodsiness to the background of this, and also you've got some floral elements. Considering that this is a fresh scent, I definitely say that this would work for the colder days. When it is cold, yet still very bright in those autumn and spring mornings / afternoons, this is definitely the way to go. And summer. I really could not choose between these two because they are so different. There is one fragrance, if you had seen my top 10 fragrances of 2017, this ranked really high. In fact, I think this was number 2. Then I saw another one which I thought it is very good. Anyway, let's get to it. Creed's Virgin Island Water and Tom Ford's Neroli Portofino. Creed Virgin Island Water is creamy, it's coconutty, but then it's got a sharp burst of lime in the background. Really nice, makes you feel like you're on the Bahama beach. Neroli Portofino is like the Italian coastline that is just bottled up. It is really fresh, aquatic, it's absolutely beautiful. It's got a slight amount of saltiness with then some sort of soapiness in the background. Both of these are superb for the summer. Next, we look at the setting. If you are looking for something that is totally inoffensive at work, so I'm talking about maybe in an office where you don't want it to be a massive powerhouse, you don't want to be choking people out, but you want to have some sort of formality, I can look no further than Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Very green, and I mean very green, as if you are walking through the Irish countryside. If you could just picture that, minus the cow dung, then this is what you have got. It is so fresh, it is so formal, it is so masculine, and you get a lot of compliments despite this not being a massive powerhouse. If you want to keep a little bit of formality, but maybe you're going out to lunch, maybe you're going out to then a meeting somewhere, or maybe you just want to then sort of dress up a little bit more, maybe in your casual time, I could look no further than Tom Ford's Oud Wood. Oud Wood is interesting because oud is usually quite offensive. And when I mean offensive, I mean like it will make people blush. It is that offensive. But this is done superbly. The oud is not offensive, it's not vicious, in fact it's actually quite delicate, but it has then been blended with almost like designer type notes where there's just a melee of different wood notes in here that are just absolutely beautiful. Really sexy, but totally inoffensive. I do think that this is a very good all-rounder, however I do feel that this just has a formal edge. If you're looking for something a little bit more casual, then I would suggest taking a look at Millesime Imperial by Creed. Millesime Imperial is like a salty watermelon. The melon note is really bold, but then the saltiness then adds some depth to it. This is superb just to splash on just before you're going out, maybe just if you're going out shopping or something like that, or maybe you're going just for like a casual stroll, this is really, really nice. Evening. If you are looking at more of a casual evening, then I would suggest maybe having something with a little bit more depth, but also a little bit more of a playful quality. I'm thinking that Bond number 9 New Harlem is probably the way to go. It is inspired by like the classic American breakfast. Pancakes and syrup with then like coffee in the background. Now, because it is quite sweet and because it is kind of experimental in how it smells, I would probably say that this is more casual. I wouldn't wear it to dress it up per se, although it probably could add a push. If you want to wear something that is a little bit more sexy, a little bit more alluring, and has a little bit more depth, then I think you should be looking at by Kilian Apple Brandy. Apple Brandy is beautiful because it's got the sweet elements with then the dark elements, but also got like a little boozy edge, which I think is just perfect if you are going out on a date, or if you are maybe going for some like classy drinks, like going for some cocktails or something in a nice bar. This, I think, is going to match it perfectly. Just because of this sophistication and just because of how well this fragrance performs, I think you cannot go wrong by dressing this up. Some people are not a fan of fragrance. For example, if you wanted to wear a fragrance when you are maybe a doctor and you're working in a hospital, it might be a little bit offensive if you are wearing this powerhouse fragrance and wearing something that is just so big that people get choked out. And you probably want to then wear something that it makes you feel a little bit fresher, but isn't really, really bold. I would suggest looking at Molecule 01 by Eccentric Molecules. This is interesting, and I've just done a review on our blog about this fragrance, and what they say is that this fragrance changes its scent dependent on the wearer. That is sort of true and sort of not true. It's true because it picks up on scents that you have previously worn. It then incorporates that into its DNA and then really pushes out that old fragrance whilst also projecting this woodsy vibe. This cedarwood note is very, very nice, and it projects quite well, but it is not alarming. It's not invasive, it's not intrusive. This is very, very calm, and I think that this would do exceptionally well if you just need to have a little bit of bedside manner. And finally, we go to fragrances that, if you are not really fond of expanding your fragrance collection to all of these that I've mentioned, do not fear. We could also have a look at these two fragrances that I'm going to show you now for all day wear. They are Santal 33 by Le Labo and Creed Aventus. Santal 33 is absolutely incredible. It is a wood-based fragrance with then a very, very nice vanilla dry down. Superb for daytime wear, and at a push, it will definitely do for evening wear. Aventus, also known as the King, and I can see why. This has the ability to be worn dressed up or dressed down. It is very, very versatile. Probably one of the most versatile fragrances that I have in my whole collection. So there we have my suggestions of fragrances that you should maybe try for different areas. However, this is totally your fragrance journey, and I want to make sure that you guys get the best experience possible. Go out, try things on your skin, see what works for you. As always, please check us out on our blog at Sophisticated Obsession, and also check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram for more updates, and we will be with you again very, very shortly. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye!